Good afternoon. This is Timisoara, a very pleasant city in western Romania, near Hungary and Serbia. My first time here, arrived yesterday, coming from Arad, and before that, a fairly short trip traveling through Hungary. This is my second time to Romania. The last time was in winter of 2018. So I had a very different experience. I will run through really quickly where I went on that trip. Constanța was the first city that I visited in Romania, coming from Bulgaria, and then Bucharest, Brașov, the Dracula Castle, Bran Castle, Timisoara, and Cluj-Napoca, and then flew out of there. I was in Bucharest, full blizzard conditions at various points, lots of snow on the ground, gray, overcast, and so I've wanted to come back to Romania and see much more, both to see the other side of it with sunshine and warmth, but also just to see more of the country. It is a good-sized country with a lot packed into it, a very, very interesting and fairly little-known place, especially to those outside of the general region of Europe here. Very, colorful, as you can see right here, culture, the dress, the style of architecture, very, very, very complicated history of various cultures and different empires that have occupied the region at various times. And so this church actually speaks to, okay, I want to get across here without getting run over, the past history. Also, the streetcar is a piece of history right there. Obviously communist era, I would presume, quite, older looking. Now, this is the Orthodox Cathedral of Timisoara, built in the late 1930s. This area was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which of course collapsed as a result of World War I and the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo. And so after the Austro-Hungarian Empire collapsed, then they gained their freedom. I don't know the exact dates and timeline of all that. You know, my knowledge of the history is pretty rudimentary, but basically the Austro-Hungarian Empire was more Catholic, and so they suppressed the Orthodox religion. And so once they were no longer part of that empire, then they were more free to practice their own religion. And so this is an Orthodox cathedral built after that occurred. You know, a couple of decades later, but it was kind of in the process, in the making of leading up to being able to practice their own religion. Looks like the doors are open. Let's go inside. It is supposed to be very, very beautiful. I wasn't sure if that was a ticket office for the cathedral, but I guess it was just a gift shop. Seems to be free to come inside. No pews. I guess everyone just stands. Not very well lit, so hard to see, I think, especially on video here. It's probably not coming through very well, but very interesting murals, and in a quite different style from many other churches and cathedrals. All right, so let's get into the center of the city. The main squares that is really the heart of the city. The dinner that I showed at the beginning there was last night, right over there. That cabbage roll dish is really good. Like, you see cabbage rolls on the menu, and that doesn't sound all that appealing. Cabbage in general, especially, you know, in the United States or whatever, is kind of something to be avoided for the most part. Like, we just don't really go for cabbage all that much, but it is definitely, you know, an important vegetable in Eastern Europe in general, and Russia, etc. This whole area, Central Europe or whatever you want to call it. And they know how to cook it and do it right and make it really delicious and something quite unique, because it isn't just like a, you know, spoonful of cabbage. There's meat inside and spices and other vegetables, and then the polenta is really good. I saw it on the menu and at first sort of, you know, skipped over it and was looking at other things, and then just kind of read it a little closer and thought, you know, I think that is going to be good. And it was. So here we have Regal Ferdinand I, 1914 to 1927. Those are the years that he ruled as King of Romania. When I first saw the plaque, the name Ferdinand, the year 1914, I was thinking maybe he was related to Franz Ferdinand, and then, you know, gained power after his assassination. But it appears that might be a coincidence. King of Romania from 1914 until his death in 1927. Ferdinand was the second son of Leopold, Prince of Hohenzollern, and Infanta Antonia of Portugal, daughter of Ferdinand II of Portugal and Maria II of Portugal. His family was part of the Catholic branch of the Prussian royal family Hohenzollern, and so that is some history that I am pretty much totally unfamiliar with. And so here we have Victory Square, a very nice area of restaurants and shops, and as you can see, gardens. There seems to be a fair amount of construction going on in the city, which by the looks of it is going to improve it a lot. Up here there's a new pedestrian zone being created. Timisoara is the 2023 European City of Culture. It has been selected as a destination, and as a result then there are lots of events happening throughout the year. Music and food, and I'm not sure exactly what the events are, but various things happening. I'll see if I happen to come across something or find out about somewhere to go experience some sort of cultural celebration. That would be really cool. So yesterday, the stones were all dug up here. Looks like they have completed something to some extent, and it is actually now more complete than it was yesterday when I was eating dinner, right? I think that was it right there. And so I haven't been further into the city out this way yet, but I believe that maybe right here you continue and then it goes to the next square. There are a couple more, I'm sure lots more squares in the city, but at least two more significant large squares. So what the heck is this thing? Stairs going up. Can you just walk up there and get the view? Let's find out what's going on here. Entrance, okay. Hello. What is this exactly?
So vertical garden, to see the city from another perspective.
Okay.
We have here plants that we find in our area.
Yes, okay, local plants to the Romania.
Yes.
Okay, and is it free or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I need your name here, that means
Sure.
you understood the rules.
So I wonder if these might be photos taken at performances related to the City of Culture events. Obviously, theater productions. And so it is Victoria Square, I guess not Victory Square. I'm not sure if that just means victory, or if it is, it wouldn't be referencing Queen Victoria. That doesn't make sense. So not quite sure about that one. Okay, let's get down there, walk through the umbrella corridor to the next square. And then up ahead here we have Platia Libertatea, so Liberty Square, and then Unity Square after that. Eurotalia, so European Theater Festival. And here's the schedule. So I assume that this is part of the City of Culture events, and then probably the photos we were seeing up there were part of this. So here I have some of the Romanian currency, the lei, 3 lei, that is about $1 US. Let's give it to this guy. Gypsy music. Historical trams exhibition. So, as we saw, a working one, electric tramway type L, Austrian tram, unique in Romania, manufactured in 1960, so communist era, by the Zimmering Graz Pauker Company in Vienna. 109 other such trams. Until 1986, they ran in Vienna and Pogstal. Okay, so this, well, I'm not sure where Pogstal is, but it was working in Vienna, Austria. And then German, of course. So here we have Liberty Square. So I believe that this is a memorial to the victims of the Black Death, the bubonic plague in the 14th century. And let's head for Unity Square. And so this one is a little bit different style. Looks like it was constructed in the 1950s. The V954 from 1951 onwards. The last one to run in Timisoara was 1996. 5 o'clock. 1886. Yes, it was a late start to today. Unlimited experiences with George. Not sure what that is referring to. But this is Unity Square or Union Square, which I think might be my favorite of the three. Really nice buildings surrounding it, which seem freshly painted, some of them anyways. And another very different looking tram there. Let's check out both of them. Museu Nacional de Arte Timisoara. So as I was talking about in my last video about how the language is a Romance language, and so you can figure out, you know, what they're talking about. I can't understand the actual spoken language at all, but reading it, you know, Museum National of Art Timisoara. Cultura, so culture, and not sure about that word. Kuchuteni. 1805 to 1/10/2023. So 18th of May to the 1st of October. So I assume that coincides with the European City of Culture events. Probably this is part of that as well, referencing various aspects of Romanian culture. Banat was this region manufactured in 1927. And here we have a year, 1980, quite recent. So M in the Latin numeral system is 1,000, C is 100, and then you have another M for 1,000 again, but when the C is before the M, it subtracts. And so M 1,000, CM is 900, so 1900, and then L is 50, 1950, and then XXX, 10 more, 3 times to make 1980. So that is surprising to me. I didn't expect that these were going to be late 20th century buildings, unless it's referencing the renovation of it or something like that. Obviously the style is more 19th century, maybe early 20th century. Okay, what is this? Like a transport tram for carrying loads of rocks or whatever. An open space between them for cargo, so yeah. So there you go, European Capital of Culture 2023. So I'm now going to wander randomly. There is, of course, much more to see in the city, including an old fort and a lot more, but I am meeting some locals in about 45 minutes, viewers of mine who recognized me yesterday. So we're meeting for dinner, Camelia and Silvio from Timisoara here. And so I will most likely make another video showing more of the city in the coming days. I am here for 4 days altogether. But here we have what looks like some pretty old history. There we go. If that is a year, 1870. That kind of seems about right just looking at it. Nice little vegetable market here. Good looking fresh veggies, probably organic. My town. So, Evenimental Luni August. I'm going to take a wild guess that that says events in the month of August. Gastronomique, so food. Patrimoniu, so that could mean father or maybe family, something like that. Art installation, contemporary art installation. Dialogue, patrimonial. So that patrimonial could mean various things. Family or history or something like that. Traditional, not sure about Mestasuguri. But it is a fun game that I will play in my head sometimes with languages that are similar to English, Spanish, Italian. Now, of course, English is not a traditionally Romance language, as is Romanian, Italian, Spanish, French, Portuguese. But English borrows words from both the Romantic side and the Germanic. And so, for example, the word for water in German is Wasser, so very close, but then in Spanish it's agua, and we have many words that use almost the exact same pronunciation or word of aqua, so like, you know, aquatic and aquamarine. And so you see words in, say, Spanish, and then I'll just try to like recycle through, even if it isn't completely obvious right in the moment. Like agua and aqua are just like so close and obvious, but if you think about some other words and then try to find a word in English that corresponds with it, that sounds quite similar and is probably derived from the same source, and usually you will find a word, but it might be kind of an obscure word or a slightly different meaning in English or something like that, but you can find the connection to the Romantic languages in so much of English vocabulary. They're playing guess checkers. There's a board there for chess or checkers, but they're using like little like pine cone things. So I'm just wandering completely randomly here, but I've wandered into some sort of pretty sophisticated like business park, I guess. Julius Gardens. So again, you know, este is so close to está in Spanish. Non-stop, pretty straightforward. Relaxer, relax. So the Julius Town and Julius Mall. It's all Julius around here. I'm wondering if that's the equivalent of Julius. Again, Banat, referencing the old region. This city is definitely up and coming. A lot of money being poured into various projects here. Come back in another couple years by the looks of it, and it will be even more modernized and kind of ready for the tourist action once they get some of these ongoing construction projects finished. And so this is the United Business Center. I am just going to take the other escalator back down, I think. But we're getting some great views. Las Vegas Games, 24 hours. Yeah, let's get out of here. It's about time to head back and meet up with Camelia and Silvio. So it's good that I wandered into this area because this is obviously the new Timisoara. Most of the video was in the old city, old town, but this is a very modern, this looks like brand new area here. Which I very likely wouldn't have found if I was just going to specific places like the fort, which is obviously not new. But gotta say, I prefer the old town, as you can probably guess. But if I was looking for new shoes, or maybe somewhere fancy to go out for dinner, then this might be the place.